All right, YouTube, what is going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Steelers declining Najee Harris's fifth-year option and what exactly that means for him and what exactly that means for the Steelers. But before we get into the video, if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy NFL content in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to the people who have subscribed already. And shout out to the future subscribers, man. Shout out to the members as well. And damn, man, we are really in this position of where we decline Najee Harris's fifth-year option. Now, before we really get into it, there is a chance that, maybe we work out a longer-term deal now before next season. But as of now, Najee Harris is going to be a free agent next year because obviously we declined the deal. And I don't know what to make of it, man. I really don't know what to make of it. If you guys have been watching me for a little bit, you know I've been up and down on Najee Harris just because his rookie year, like it's so hard to even talk about it, man. Because his rookie year, like it was there, the 1,000 yards was there, the 1,000 yards have always been there. The only Steeler ever to rush for 1,000 yards in his three first seasons. I believe he has the most rushing yards in like a 3-year span as well, or something like that. And yeah, like the guy on paper is really good, and he has some of these runs where like he's just stiff arming, where he's just trucking through people. But I'm here to say, like, and I've been labeled the Naj hater, man. I really have. I've gone through it. It's just not that crazy to me. It's really not that crazy to me. Let me get a gunshot. I know no one's gonna want to hear it. There's probably a lot of Najee Harris supporters out there, and I support Najee. But as far as like being no way, we're making a massive mistake. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't know if that's really the case here. Although I do love Najee, and what I want to talk about here is not only his, on the field impact. Of course, the 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons is really good. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. What does that mean? I'm just saying. But, not only does he do that, not only does he do a lot of things for us, also he's one of the best receiving backs in the league. Just on the field, I'm talking about his play. But off the field, I feel like Naj has been a pretty good locker room guy. I feel like he's been a good leader for us. I've a lot of the sound bites he has, like to me, he's saying the right things. There's only ever been like a few cases to where Naj has come out and like said something and it was like a head scratcher, like, oh, really? You're saying that? Most of the time, this guy is someone who's rallying the troops. Most of the time, this guy is someone who's cheering for teammates. This is a guy who's cheering for Jaylen Warren as well as he got elevated into the lineup. And so for that, like I really love Najee. I think he's a Steeler, the 22, like 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, man. Like this guy is good. But here we find ourselves in this position. And Omar Khan, bro, like once again, Omar Khan, we talked about this with Kenny Pickett. We talked about this with some of the players who've been released. Maybe they weren't playing exactly the worst. A lot of them were, but maybe they weren't playing the worst. But Omar Khan, bro, like you got to really show him. Otherwise, man, like, hey, you're on a prove it year, bro. And Najee Harris is the latest example of that. I don't know. Because I feel like his fifth-year option, too, I saw something and it was like if we paid him his fifth-year option, he would be like the 11th highest running back paid or something like that. Or I think it was 15th, something like that. And to me, people can start naming names. They can start making lists. But, it's Big Zaya and the Steelers. Najee Harris is a top 5 running back in the league to me. And with that said, too, I'm a big Jaylen Warren guy as well. And I know the Cook is the duo. I know the duo is the duo. But my feelings about Naj just are not where some people are. I know a lot of people. Najee Harris is like their favorite player. He's their favorite Steeler. I know a lot of people were really excited about Najee Harris coming into the league, into the draft, and I was excited too because it seemed like we were gonna pick Naj regardless. It seemed like that was our pick the whole draft process. And what do you know? We take Najee Harris. I want to say 20th overall or 18th overall, like Kenny Pickett the year before, or Naj was the year before. Kenny was after, but I think the pick was similar. And so with all that said, bro, I don't know what to make of it. I have something else up here too for the comprehensive list of NFL players with 1,000 rushing yards in each of the last 3 seasons. Najee Harris, it's only him, literally only him with 1,000 rushing yards in each of the last 3 seasons. I've seen the stats. We got another thing from Christopher Carter here. How you feel about the Najee Harris decision by the Steelers? However you feel about the Najee Harris decision by the Steelers, seeing this discourse is funny. Najee Harris is the only we just talked about that, the only running back to rush for 1,000 yards in each of the last 3 seasons, and then someone, presumably me. That's not really impressive, but he's the only one. Anybody can do it. only. Like Najee Harris is literally him, bro. But you got people like me, you got other people out there doubting him. The Steelers themselves doubting him, and it's just I don't know. I'm just in a very weird boat with this. I got to give you guys my honest feelings. I got to give you guys like truly how I'm feeling. I don't like I'm on both sides of it. I really am. I'm on both sides of the fence, and I've always been on both sides of the fence. But I will say too, I feel like I'm kind of more slandering than I am praising. But I will say too, when Naj like hits the hole, and when Naj has a run of like 10 yards or something like that, like he looks like the best running back in the league. Like he has that aura, he has that like just eye test to it. He really does. But then a lot of the times too, the rushes just aren't crazy. Like it's not like groundbreaking. It's not just blowing the lights off or whatever. But he's that power back, man. He's him and Jaylen Warren are a great duo. They really are, and I think Naj can really he can be like a duo monster. Not to say he can't be the sole back because he definitely can be. He's done it before, and now with an even improved offensive line, like a real offensive line this season that we still have him, it should be a banger. Like he should have his best season yet. The only thing that's might be different is because Jaylen Warren is getting a little bit more snaps, so that could kind of bring it down. But theoretically, Najee Harris should have a pretty good year this year, and Najee Harris has had pretty good years for the past 3 seasons. And with all of that said, me personally, I look at it. You're telling me he's had these great seasons, and I'm just here to say, so what, bruh? So what? He's rushed for 1,000 yards in 3 straight seasons, man. I don't. This is just truly how I'm feeling, man. You guys can dislike the video. You guys can comment like Zaya, you're bugging. But this is just truly how I feel. Now, all of that to say, I've mentioned him in the locker room. I've mentioned him as a Steeler. Like I think we should keep Najee Harris. But as far as like no, like that Van Gogh painting, the screaming man, like no, what are we doing? No, absolutely not. Like we talk about it with running backs all the time, man. When it's running backs around the league, when they're trying to get a contract, it's like, bruh, like that's spooky, man, because like people don't be paying running backs. I think Saquon got a pretty good deal from Philly. I imagine Najee Harris will get a pretty good deal somewhere else. And we're just gonna let him test it, man. We're gonna let him see, like go out there and test the waters. And if you can get something better, you got something better, man. Like that's just how they're playing it. And I keep saying I love Naj, but I'm okay with it, man. Because I really do. I'm torn, man. I really am torn. How do you guys feel about Najee Harris? How do you guys feel about the direction that we're going? Do you guys believe Jaylen Warren, or I guess it would be if Naj goes, it would be Jaylen Warren and then another running back. Like we got to get another running back if this is the case. I'm surprised we didn't draft one. Our third string right now, is it still McFarland? I want to say it could be McFarland. It could be somebody else. But yeah, of course, if Naj goes, we're gonna have to get someone to replace him. And there's just a new hole right there. And like, do we take another running back in the first round? And like, maybe it's the same kind of production. I don't know, because that same kind of production we talk about, it's not like Naj is bad. It's not like Naj is a slouch. It's not like Naj is like a scrub. Like, no, this is one of the better running backs in the league. He really is. He's rushed for 1,000 yards 3 straight times, man. He really is one of the better running backs in the league. And I just, like I don't know how to feel, man. I really don't. And there's a lot of discourse going on. There's a lot of Steelers fans who are upset, and then there's also a lot of Steelers fans who are just like, Naj sucks, Naj sucks, Naj sucks. And I'm not gonna say I'm on that boat because Naj definitely doesn't suck, but I will admittedly say, a little bit ago, maybe not last season, but the season before last season, I was just very frustrated at seeing Jaylen Warren come in and torch defenses, and then Najee come in and it's 2-3 yards a carry. But when Jaylen Warren's getting like 8, he's just ripping them every time. And then that was frustrating me. This last season, we mixed it up a little bit. We really did give Jaylen Warren some real snaps. And with Jaylen Warren getting some real snaps, I feel like Najee Harris elevated. I feel like Najee Harris played well. Now, can we keep that same thing going if we keep Naj on the 5th-year option? And then Jaylen Warren, I believe he's a restricted free agent after this season, but we could potentially still lose him. But are we going to like pay Jaylen Warren like some kind of money? We can't do that if we keep them both. I don't know, like 2 running backs like under a contract. I know we're not paying a quarterback, but I feel like eventually we're gonna have to. Is that feasible, man? Is that really feasible to pay 2 running backs any kind of bigger deals? Because I'm gonna tell you that. Let me just say something real quick. Jaylen Warren, whenever it happens, if it happens, barring injury, barring something, Jaylen Warren is gonna get a bag, man. He really is. Like Jaylen Warren is somebody. And not to say Najee Harris isn't, bro, but it's just like the speed, the ferocity, and like let's not act like Jaylen Warren isn't trucking people too. Like I don't know. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I do love Naj. I do love my Steelers, and honestly, like this is like one of those. This is one of those videos where I'm gonna upload it and just close my eyes. Like I feel bad for how I feel about Najee Harris. Like you ever heard like it's not you, it's me, and like they're being dead ass about it. Like it's real. Nah, it's just me, bro. Like I'm not in the right place right now. Like I got a lot of things going on. Like like it's literally one of those situations. Like, I feel so bad that I just can't come on here and love Najee Harris, but and I do love Najee. But you know what I'm saying? Like I just can't lie to you guys. I really can't lie to you guys. So this is genuinely how I feel about it. If I'm bugging, let me know. How do I even feel about it? I guess sad, but at the same time, I understand as we talked about the Jaylen Warren potential contract, as we talked about some of the weapons contracts. Like we got Muthu's a free agent. Pickens is going to have to get paid soon. We're going to have to pay a quarterback eventually. The defense is highest paid right now, but eventually we're going to have to work on some stuff with that. The O-line, for example, we're going to have to start paying some of our stud O-linemen. You just start adding up these contracts that are going to happen, and you look at the running back position, the same position that 32 teams out of 32 teams have virtually decided it's not worth it because every single time they just let him go. We look at the Steelers, they're in that same boat, man. So it just is what it is. We look at a team like the Raiders who are playing games with Josh Jacobs. We look at a team like the Giants who was playing games with Saquon Barkley. We turn back the clock. We rewind a little bit, and we look at the Steelers who were playing games with Le'Veon Bell, and it's just it's typical. It really is typical. It really is common. Is what the come on, man, look at the weather up there. They know I'm slandering Najee Harris, man. I tried to let that go, but we look at Najee Harris and we look at Le'Veon Bell, and of course Le'Veon Bell had a way better offense and offensive line than the Najee Harris has sniffed yet in the NFL. Najee Harris versus Le'Veon Bell, the talent that they played with, not even comparable at all. But we didn't pay Le'Veon, man. We really didn't pay Le'Veon. We didn't break the bank. I believe we picked up his 5th-year option though a while back, but we didn't break the bank. We really didn't like fucking succumb to him, and so now we fast forward to Najee Harris. What do they say, man? The standard is the standard, bro. So, yeah. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Let me know if you guys are on board with not giving him his 5th-year option. Let me know if you're just like absolutely foaming at the mouth, upset at the Steelers, like, bro, no way we're gonna lose Naj. We can't lose. Like, let me know if that's you, and if that is you, tell me why. Like, once again, I know the 1,000 yards, and I'm sitting here saying so what, and I'm not in the NFL, and it's so hard to get 1,000 yards. Like, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. But just as a fan, as I watch, I come on here and I tell you guys how I'm feeling. And right now, this is how I'm feeling, man. So we'll see what ends up happening with Najee Harris. As I mentioned, there's a chance we do give him like an extension on a longer-term deal, but to like, what do I want to say, lessen that initial cap hit. Like I think the cap hit with the 5th-year option was like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 million. Honestly though, like, is that like what are running backs make? How do you get paid as an NFL running back, bro? Like 6 or 7 cap hit. Like to me, for Najee Harris, that doesn't seem crazy. That seems like exactly like he should be making. But there is a chance a team will give him like a 2-year, 20 million. That's 10 a year. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see what ends up happening. But anyways, guys, I am gonna get out of here as we have another 12:30 a.m. upload. But it is what it is. If you're rocking with the Steelers, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a comment, letting me know that I'm tweaking about Najee Harris. And Naj, if you see this, bro, like. Naj, he's gonna actually. I have a few videos with like talking like this with Naj, so I'm sure he's over it. But Naj, if you see this, I'm sorry, it's AI. This isn't really me. It's AI. Peace out, guys.